This is my 5th take on this video. This is Tatiana Hauser. Hi everybody, congratulations for making it to the end of the course. First I want to say I am super grateful for taking a class like this because I can see how it contributes to a bachelor level of thinking. And I think it's super important with like going into the nursing field, and as we handle other people in their lives, I think we need to be able to think deeper and not on a surface level because everything isn't superficial. I like that we started off the course kind of not analyzing how people view us, so that we're not always so biased. Like, what would people say about Tatiana? How would they perceive Tatiana? I think it's important to kind of take yourself out of your own shoes just to kind of like see what you're projecting into the world and why. And I feel like this course definitely challenged that. I like that we have the opportunity, of course, to talk about Black History Month and the sit-ins in Greensboro and Rosa Parks in the back of the bus. I feel like the whole nonviolent communication lecture was extremely important because it teaches us how to get our point across without having to be violent or aggressive. Again, very important for being a healthcare provider, very important for just dealing with people in general because it's not our world. We live in a world full of people, and it's important to be able to communicate with people on a mutual, respectful level without being violent. You can get your point across without being aggressive but still passionate. I feel like that was an important lesson for me because I'm very passionate, and sometimes what I say can either rub you the right or wrong way, but using nonviolent communication is a really important tool, and a great lesson, honestly, from this course. I definitely see how I think differently and I think deeper, and I'm trying to just kind of analyze things a bit more before I speak, thinking before you speak. Yeah, I think that the movie that we watched, it's a Wonderful Life. It made me cry. It's a Wonderful Life. It made me cry. You know, seeing George struggle from a child standing up for his dad who couldn't pay his loan back, and you know the guy was saying all these messed up things about him, to eventually taking over the family business, giving up his school career, sending his brother to school so he can become a star. His brother gets married. He got everything that George wanted, just for George to basically go bankrupt in his business, having to pay people out of his pocket, and just to make things right. And in the end, everybody in his town and everybody in his community, all the mouths that he fed, they all came together to help support him. And it just made me cry because it just lets me know that there is strength in community. It was a really important lesson for me to watch and see, and I think that it's important to show up for those who show up for you. Again, another way that I examine my life is just one of the quotes that stuck out to me, because I took this course, and it wasn't from this course, but I was reading a post the other day, and it talked about how if you want a village, you have to be a villager. And I think this is another one of those quotes that I will take to help examine my life a little bit deeper about how I show up for those if I want them to show up for me, and how people view me. You know, an unexamined life is a life not worth living. So if you're not examining the hows, the whys, and the whats, it's kind of like, what's your purpose? You know, I think that we all need to have purpose. We all want purpose, but we got to figure out why. So I thank you, Professor, for this course. See you next mod.